Hello, Mallards. It is the end of the day on Monday, and I'm just now speaking to you for the first time. I had hoped that today would involve some more exciting things, but I wasn't feeling great. I've got pretty bad cramps, so I didn't do a lot of the work that I was going to do, but instead, I want to talk about how sometimes, like, things just line up in your life, right? So Dad and I were watching a film called Bloodshot. It's a Vin Diesel film from 2020, and there will be spoilers for this film, for Memento, a film from 2001, and for a game called Unmemory. So we were watching this film, Bloodshot, and basic idea is Vin Diesel is this character. He was a soldier who got killed and got resuscitated with a bunch of nanites in his body, and it essentially makes him absolutely unkillable. Like, he just like turns into this mist of nanites, and then they like rebuild him, right? So he can't be killed. And he is going after this guy who killed his wife. And then as the story progresses, you realize that he's just been tricked. He's been given false memories through the nanites to believe that this person killed his wife, and that person is like the, I don't know, 7th or 8th person he's killed because he thought that person killed his wife, when really him and his wife actually stopped being together like 5 years ago, and she's very much alive. She's just his ex now, and the guy's just been planting memories to get him to kill a series of people that he wants dead, right? Which made me think of Memento, where a similar thing is happening. A guy has amnesia, and he is going after this guy who was part of the group that killed his wife. But what you find out in that is that because of his amnesia, he actually ended up killing his wife. He gave her too many insulin shots in a row, and she ended up dying. But he has sort of like tricked himself into thinking somebody killed her, so he would like have this purpose. And an undercover cop has been using that to like get him to go after people that he wants him to go after. And in the film, he then uses his own memories to like make himself go after the undercover cop. And so those two things were in my head. And then I started playing this game today called Unmemory. It's an iPad, like an app store game, a mobile game. And they call themselves like a text-based adventure, but I think that that's a weird way to say it. It's like reading a bunch of diary entries, but there are interactive elements in the middle of it. So like locks you have to unlock, or like a phone that you answer, things like that. And it's kind of a fun way to interact with things, like interacting with different elements. For example, there's this part where it says, I use my fingers to open the blinds, and you can see this tiny little bit of blind as you scroll through. And then if you use your fingers to widen it, it opens the blinds so you can see out the window, things like that. I have enjoyed the way that the game is engineered. I think it's really smart. But it centers around a guy who has amnesia and can't build new memories and remembers everything up until this tragic accident, but doesn't really remember anything afterwards. And it's that his girlfriend is dead, and some guy named Jay killed her. And now he's working with this other group to like get back at him and probably kill him too. And they've been doing crimes in the past. I don't know, I'm not all the way through the game, but like that also struck me like so much thinking about this film, Bloodshot, and Memento, and now this game, and how they're all like a very similar premise, even though they're all delivered very different ways. And having experienced the other versions of media makes me distrust this story a lot. Like, I feel like everybody's lying to this guy, or maybe he's lying to himself. And I'm going to be really curious to see when we get to the end, like, who's telling the truth. But it is interesting to see all of that shake out. And it also just makes me think about that whole, you know, there are only so many stories in the world. Most of them have been told. Even a story like this has been told several times, and yet I'm kind of enjoying each one of them. Go ahead and tell your story, even if it has been told. because somebody out there will probably still enjoy it. And I'll see you tomorrow.